Hey. So I'm just gonna go over real quick, my big issues with World of Warcraft right now and Battle for Azeroth right now and everything. So the first thing is itemization. I mean, right now I don't even care about my item level. That's why I'm only 360 because it doesn't matter. Next patch will come out. Every single thing I have will be replaced. Even this. Oh, by the way, I got that in a loot box. I opened that in a loot box, a heroic 200 weapon. I felt nothing. I didn't accomplish anything. I right clicked on a box and I got this. Compared to the old expansions or whatever back in the day, vanilla through Wrath of the Lich King for me, especially Wrath of the Lich King, getting the Red Sword of Courage. I had to farm that specific weapon from Utgard Pinnacle for my tanking set. It was really important to get. It was really good. I felt really good when I got it. I felt like I accomplished something. I opened a loot box, got this, felt nothing. Loot box for that too. Loot box. Let's see. That was a random RNG loot. RNG loot. I actually got that from a dungeon. And mythic. Some raid finder war Mick forged with a socket. Of course. So now that's really good. Oh yeah, here's a Mick forged raid finder trinket. Nothing matters. None of this matters. All this gear is just gear, random gear. I mean, I try to get good traits and haste mastery. But that's as far as it goes. You look at the item level and then you look at the secondary stats, and that's it. Whereas back in the day, there was a lot more dynamic loot. So it wasn't just they didn't have item level. Certain things were strong, certain things were weak, whatever. But so certain items were items. They were very unique items. So if you look in here, right here, Maladeath. So obviously this says parry haste because that's where we're at now. Is it's like 2 secondaries, right? Who cares? And back in the day, this had like plus, I don't know, like sword mastery or something like that. Basically, increase your chance to hit with a sword. It was really important, especially if you were any sort of race that had a sword specialization passive. So you would want to get that as a Fury Warrior. That would be one of your best in slot weapons. If that dropped in the raid and you won that, you spend all your DKP on it. People would be like, freaking out, like, wow, good job, holy fuck. That's a big weapon, right? And that's gonna last you until next, I mean, yeah, it'll last for fucking ever. Um, and yeah, I mean, that we don't have that anymore. Now it's just open a loot box, get this, kill a thing, whatever. It drops some item, and who cares? You put it on, you're done. Everything's just so bland. Also, another thing about this, right? Ragnaros, the Onslaught Girdle. This was the Fury Warrior best in slot. It dropped from Molten Core, which is the first real raid of the expansion, the best in slot belt, which means you always have a reason to run Molten Core, right? You always have a reason to run Blackwing Lair. You always had a reason to run Zul'Gurub, Anchorage, everything. It wasn't just the new raid, and the next comes out and all the other raids are forgotten, right? But that's how it is now, Uldir is out, whatever, and then the next raid will come out. And then once that happens, Uldir will be erased, There will be no reason to ever do it. It's the same that happened in Legion. It's the same, I mean, it's only 3 raids. It's the same that's been happening for a long time, right? They just shoot all the item levels up and everything is just infinitely better once you get to the next raid because they don't want anyone having any reason to farm any old content because that's not Blizzard's idea of their pre-planned like route of fun. That's not what they want you to do. That would deviate from the fucking tracks. We're on a guided tour. Blizzard's taking us down a little straight line. You don't ever get outside the straight line because if you get outside the straight line, they'll nerf whatever you were doing outside that straight line to make sure no one ever falls out of line. And then you just keep going in your straight line. And that's the game that you pay $15 a month for, $60, when the expansions come out. And then it's like it's not a good time. Right now, what I do in the game, since I don't care about gearing, I do Raid Finder, because why not? I do a mythic plus a week, not even plus 10s, I just do whatever, plus 6, who cares? Half the time I scrap the gear anyways, because it's, it doesn't make forge. All I do is like all the things, oh my god, yeah, I gotta work on this stuff, by the way, I don't have that many, marks of honor. Yeah, I mean, I just run old raids, I get stuff, get some mounts, got this, the other day. Got 2 mounts the other day, right? I got this, the 5,000 time walking token mount, got that. And then I got this. Where is it? There it is. I got that. You know, that's something that I earned. That's something that I got in the game, right? I did something in the game to get this, and the other, right here. This wasn't just randomly, oh wow, what do you know? The slot machine gave me a mount. Like I had to do something for this, right? And that felt nice. And that's, there's still some stuff in the game to enjoy like that. But I mean, just anything current, Battle for Azeroth, it's just so pointless. Like, I mean, there are mounts in Battle for Azeroth, and they've done a good job with that. The Arathi rares, there's tons of mounts. There's no raid mount. But there's, how many dungeon mounts? One, two, I mean, that's kind of a mount. There's the engineering mount. So I'll say three, four, like four mounts, something like that, just from dungeons. And then there's some other stuff. I mean, they're doing a good job with stuff like that. But like, it's just really itemization is a big killer for me. Like, I'm a loot fanatic. I really like games with loot, and I just want a game with loot, like real loot, where it's like, wow, I got the item. Holy fuck, I can't believe I got the item. It dropped off the boss, but now with personal loot, it just doesn't even feel like the boss's drop loot. You kill it, nothing happens. 24 artifact power, Azerite power. Who cares, right? That's not a reward. That's just a slap in the face, and it feels bad. It makes you want to never do anything ever again. And then, what do you know? You actually get something. It's just kind of random. It just appears in your bag. It's like you didn't loot it from the boss. You didn't see it. You didn't roll on it. Like, there's nothing like that. It just happens, and and you end up getting stuff that you don't want. You scrap all the stuff that you don't want because it's just all so fucking random. Like, normally an item would drop. Let's say it's a downgrade for you, or you just don't want it. It's not what you're looking for. You wouldn't need on it. You agreed on it or passed on it or whatever, and then someone else in the group or raid who wants that item or needs that item would need it, and then they'd get it because there's not that much competition for it. But now everything has a competition because everyone has like an equal chance or not, a chance to get loot or to not get loot, right? And that's just a problem, I think, because I mean, now like, oh, there's a one plate user in the group. So now that plate user, instead of just being like, oh wow, that guy will get any plate item that drops in this dungeon, now it's like, it's personal loot. So maybe he'll get something, maybe he won't. He always has the same chance, and it's like, what is it, a 5% chance or something? It's not good. Like, it really, it's probably more than 5%, 20% maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, itemization, like item level. I mean, next fucking the next raid, the raid finder is gonna be 370. Right, so that's Raid Finder, and that's baseline, not Warforged, Titanforged, whatever. So like, everything, all the hardworking, the farming there we've been doing, it's pointless. Now I've noticed that like immediately, right off the bat of this expansion, because within a few days I was already like 353 item level of this expansion's release, and now I'm only 360 because I just don't care. I see the futility in it, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like there's no point to doing anything. That's not good game design. So that's it. Check out these, my transmog with this, right? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, when you get your loot box item, you gotta make a transmog for it. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. All right.